Submitting aquatic plant photos for ID, Do's and Don'ts. This brief presentation discusses how to best photograph aquatic plants for email submittal and online identification. Take good, clear photos. The photo on the left is insufficient for an ID. The one on the right is better, but still not very good. The center photo shows one section clearly, so the branching and segments may be observed. This plant is Proliferating Spikerush. Scale is important. The photo on the left leads to two possible plants. The difference between them is the size of the leaves. The photo on the right gets the identification to a single plant because the fingers can be used for estimating the leaf size. This is the Pondweed, Potamogeton diversifolius. Close-ups are important. The photo on the left leads to trying to zoom in on sections in an attempt to see the leaves clearly. It does, however, indicate the amount of plant present at the site. The one on the right is excellent. There is no doubt as to the plant's identification as water pennywort. Without a seed head, it is very difficult to identify many of our sedges and rushes. A general ID can be made from stem shape. Sedges have edges, a triangular stem as shown in the photo on the left, whereas rushes have round stems. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule, such as the flat-stemmed rush on the right, Juncus repens. Submersed plants have the bulk of the plant growing beneath the water surface. Some will have part of the plant above the water surface. It may be possible to take a good photo from the shoreline, as with the photo on the left of parrot feather, duckweed, and pennywort. Otherwise, rake some out and take a photo, as was done with the bladderwort in the photo on the right. When the pond or waterway is having an algal bloom, the water may look like pea soup, very green. One way to show the extent of the bloom is by filling a clear bottle with the water. Wear gloves for safety. Different algae are different shades of green. They also change shade during their life cycle. These are two different blue-green algae, also called cyanobacteria. These photos are provided to help you identify the plants in your pond. The image on the left is of common Naiad. Note the opposite leaf arrangement along the stem. Zooming in on one leaf lets you see the tiny teeth along the edge, as seen in the photo on the right. This is a common aquatic plant. The image on the left is a partial strand of Proliferating Spikerush. When it forms long strands, it has been described as green fishing line with knots in it. Along the edge of a pond, it can look like very fine grass, as seen in the image on the right. Currently, there is no chemical control for this plant. However, triploid grass carp have been very effective. The image on the left is of leafy pondweed. Note the alternate leaf arrangement along the unbranched portions of the stem, as opposed to the opposite arrangement on the Naiad. Unlike the Naiad, the leaves of the pondweed do not have serrations or teeth along the edge. Also note the seed head on the pondweed, which the Naiad does not have. The image on the left is a close-up of alligatorweed. Note the opposite leaf arrangement along the stem and the white clover-like flower. The plant does not make viable seeds. Instead, it spreads by fragmentation. Do not weed whack the plant, as it can form roots at each node along the stem. Large patches, as seen in the photo on the right, can block waterways. Once an identification is made, information on control measures is available from the Aquatic Weed Control section of the online 2020 North Carolina Agricultural Chemicals Manual. If you have any questions or suggestions of plants to add to this presentation, feel free to contact me via email at diana_rashash@ncsu.edu.